Connected. You've got a podcast.
Welcome to the Mystic Access Podcast, where the magic is in learning.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of the Mystic Access Podcast. I'm Chris.
I'm Kim.
And I'm Lisa.
We have a lot of exciting goodies to share with you today. We have kind of a main event coming up, but first we have some really important things that we want to make sure you know about that are coming up in Mystic Access land. Not the least of which is our newest group of iOS modules, which is beginning in April. So for those of you wondering where they are, we are taking a short break and we will be back in April to begin what will be for now our final set of iOS modules 19 through 24. Now, before we talk about those, let me let you know that if you wanted to order 13 through 18 as a set for $75, they are now available. So it's over 6 hours of content, and you can access that content as a single DAISY package. Our crazy DAISY dude has been hard at work getting those all ready for you. So they are now available as DAISY or MP3, and you get both upon purchase. And you can get modules 13 through 18 for $75, as well as, of course, 1 through 6 or 7 through 12 if you'd like one of those sets. So those are no longer available individually. You would buy them in sets. And remember that if you buy any of those sets, you are able to receive a class that Lisa did on the iPhone 10 series of phones. Because she did the class, I'll let her tell you more about that.
That class basically introduces you to two concepts. One is the whole idea of using Face ID to unlock your device, and the other is navigating on a device without a home button. And this does apply to the iPhone 10 series. It applies to some iPads whether or not they have a home button. I have an older iPad mini, and I can use the same gestures on it even though it has a home button. If you've purchased a set of 6 or you're thinking about it, this might be a really good thing for you to get even if you're not using it right away, because you could put it away for when you need it, or if you have an iPad mini or a regular iPad, you could practice these gestures so that if you get a new device without a home button, you could already be familiar with the process. You wouldn't have that kind of anxiety of, oh, I need to learn this, I need to make it work on the spot. So certainly do write to us and ask us for that, and we'll be happy to send it along with any set of the 6 iOS modules. Let's say you ordered 1 through 6, and that was some time ago. You can still request the free module. If you order 13 through 18, which is now currently available, you can request. And you can also request it if you order our next set of 6 modules. It's funny, these kind of group themselves. Modules 1 through 6, and to some extent 7 through 12, were foundational modules. They were more for people starting out, learning some basic and a fewer intermediate concepts. Modules 13 through 18 kind of went a little niche-y. In other words, we had one in particular for people who were interested in games, and we had one for music lovers. We also had some that just covered basic skills. Now, these last 6 primarily deal with productivity. They're probably a little more advanced, but if you are using your device in an office or a school environment, you might find them quite helpful. We start on April 4th with Surfing with Safari. That is pretty self-explanatory, I think. It just goes through all the tips and tricks and things that Safari has to offer. I've been writing notes about this class, and it's a big one because there really is a lot in there and a lot that can help you get the most out of your device. Then April 11th, we're going to talk about backing up your device and how to do it. There are 2 different ways to do it, and not every person will use the same kind of backup. So we'll talk about that and walk you through how that works. Then we move on to April 18th, and we're going to be talking about apps for reading, writing, and researching using iOS. And we're going to be talking some word processors, some dictionaries, some editors, all kinds of fun things that will help you move forward and use your device more effectively. We'll take a break of sorts on April 25th because we'll have one of our free events that day. And then we come back on May 2nd, and we're going to be talking about using your iOS device with a Braille display. So regardless of what display you have, we're going to show you some general concepts. Each display will have its own set of keyboard shortcuts, but there are some that seem to be the same across the board, and so I'll be sharing those with you. May 9th, the topic is Get the Message. We're going to be talking about the ever-growing, ever-expanding, many-legged Messages app, where there is more in there, in my opinion, than any one person can use in a lifetime. But we're going to help make that a little clearer and hopefully a little easier to use. And our final module will be held May 16th, and it's called It's a Date. And we're going to be talking about calendars and apps for keeping that sort of appointment information organized. And is the stock calendar app the best, or is there something that would better suit your needs? We keep saying that these are the final modules, and they are as of right now. If you have others that you would like to see us offer, please send us an email to info@mysticaccess.com. Now, we can't promise that we will do it. We may feel that it's not something that maybe more than 1 or 2 people would be interested in, or it may be that it's not something that we really know enough about or can find out enough about it to make it worth it. Because if we can't do it right, we kind of don't want to offer it. But we will at least look into it. And actually 2 of the 6 modules this time came from suggestions.
Or demands in the case of the Messages app.
Yes. Thank you, Kim.
You're so welcome.
So that's what we're doing. And we hope that if you find this information useful, that you will take advantage of it. But if you are not able to be with us at the exact times and dates, you can download your sessions. You can also receive them on an SD card if you would prefer.
Absolutely. And remember, the same deal that we had going on for the first 3 groups of 6 still stands. So if you buy 3 modules or more, you're going to save a little more money. So they're $15 each, but if you buy 3 or if you buy more than 3, you will save a bit. So keep that in mind. If there are multiples that you are interested in, you'll be able to select your multiple modules upon checkout. Of course, you can also call us. We'll be happy to assist you with any of this over the phone. And also remember, too, that if you write us about a module and we're like, oh, I don't think we could possibly do that, you may be the only person in the world who wants this information. Please know that we do offer iOS training. So more than likely, Lisa, our iOS queen, we teasingly call her around here, will assist you with that and be able to provide you with help and support with whatever it is that you're seeking help with. So that is also an option, and all of our training sessions are recorded as well.
So the next topic that we're going to talk about is our free monthly class, and this has to deal with our kind of main event. So for those that know, we do have a free monthly class, and it is usually the last Thursday of the month at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So this will be on March 28th, 2019, and it's going to talk about the new and improved Braille Note Touch Plus. In our last podcast, we talked about how we couldn't confirm or deny the fact that we had a Braille Note Touch or had access to the Braille Note Touch, and that's because we did not have permission from Humanware to do so. Now that we do have permission, we can talk about the Braille Note Touch and the fact that we did have early access to the device. And we're going to do a little bit of demonstrations on the Braille Note Touch in a few minutes.
Yes, the class is going to be a little more involved in that we're going to share more information with you. We're going to obviously do demos as we're doing here in this podcast, and we're going to allow you to obviously ask questions. If there are things you want to know, if there are things you want to see demoed, things like that, we would love to be able to answer those questions for you and let you know information that interests you. We're going to talk to you in the class specifically, not today, about upgrading. If you want to upgrade from your first generation, as it were, Braille Note Touch to the Touch Plus, what is involved in that? We can also now confirm that there is going to be a tutorial for the Braille Note Touch Plus. So yes, to those gazillions of you who have been emailing me over the last couple of weeks, I apologize for not having written you back yet. And I was really trying to figure out the best way to do it. And I hated to write back and just say, hey, we're under a non-disclosure agreement, et cetera, et cetera. Can't really talk about it. So I'm very pleased that I can let everyone know publicly that yes, this is something that's happening, and it's happening as we speak. So that is something that we are in the process of getting done for you. I have had access to the Touch for a little while now and have had the experience of being able to compare it to the first generation, so I can speak a little bit to that. For those of you who are wondering what the heck we're even talking about, let me just go back just a second. The Braille Note Touch is a Humanware product. It is a 32-cell Braille display note taker tablet.
Or 18, it can be both. It can
Yes,
be an
or an
18
18
version or 32, yes.
Yes, you can take your pick, whichever one you prefer. But the cool thing about this is it's essentially an Android tablet and a Braille note taker all in one. And it is a really incredible productivity tool. I am more confident than ever in saying that this is an incredible productivity tool. What makes this stand heads and shoulders above the previous generation Touch, the original Braille Note, is that it is now running Android Oreo, which is the operating system. The first Touch was running KitKat, and it really wasn't able to be updated to other Android operating systems, to the higher versions. So this one is a million times faster. The stability is so much better. And I think anyone who has a first Touch and enjoyed it, but really wanted to see it do more, will find this one to be a dream to utilize.
I have a question for you then.
Okay.
So what puts the Plus in the Braille Note Plus?
The Plus and the Braille Note Plus, the first thing is Oreo. So we've been able to move this from KitKat all the way up to Oreo. So your processor speed is so much faster. Your ability to do things is so much faster. Your ability to navigate third-party apps is so much better and so much easier. And several of the Keysoft apps have been completely revised as well, which we'll get into in a second. So there is that possibility as well. You can really move faster, do more, and be more proficient and efficient in much, much shorter periods of time using this thing. I'll also show you this in a second. Startup is lightning fast.
Speaking of questions, we have a favor to ask of you, our listeners, and that is that you please hold your Braille Note Plus questions until our class. Kim, who is our most knowledgeable person on this product, will be hard at work creating the tutorial for you. Generally, this means that if you call in, you'll probably get me, and I am not terribly knowledgeable about this product, although I am working on upgrading my skills. So in order to provide you the most concise, most factual information, I would suggest that you either, for the time being, contact Humanware or hold your questions until the class. So of course, to attend the class, just stay tuned to our newsletter, the website, this podcast for more information so that you can join us on March 28th.
Yes, we aren't going to make this an exclusive class to our events list. This one is going to be spread far and wide. So by all means, if you know people who you think would be interested, tell them about it. Let them know. The really important thing with this class is we want to make sure people get this information and know that it's available and can ask people who have played with the technology. So by all means, stay tuned. It'll be on our news page. It'll be in our newsletter, as Lisa says. So definitely stay tuned here, and we will be getting you that information probably sometime toward the end of next week or maybe the next, but it'll be very soon that you'll receive the actual call in and dial in and joining information for the class. And remember, of course, it's free. It's our March free event.
So let's get started. You were talking about how you were going to show us the faster startup speed. The original, as I have the Touch 1, as it's lovingly called, when you power that up from a complete shutdown, and I'm not talking about a lock screen, I'm talking about completely powering off the device, it can take up to 2 minutes for the thing to be ready for you to use.
At least 2 minutes. Yeah, sometimes more than that. Sometimes it feels like 5 minutes, but it's probably 2 to 3 that it sometimes takes to really begin booting up and be properly ready for you to utilize. Now, before I show you, I do want to tell y'all one thing, which is the Touch 1 and the Touch Plus are essentially the same device. Now, there is a little bit of a difference in what the power button looks like. It's a little more concave. Other than that, it looks like a twin of the first generation Braille Note Touch. The other thing, though, that you do need to know is that it uses USB-C for charging as opposed to micro USB. So while the port looks very similar, don't do what I did when I first got mine trying to plug a micro USB cable into it. It won't work. It comes with a USB-C cable, and you will use USB-C to charge. And for those that don't know, that will just allow your Touch to charge much, much more quickly and easily for you. And another nice thing about USB-C, you can plug it in either way. So you don't have to worry about which way am I plugging in this cable? Nibs. Yeah, you don't have to worry about that. So I've got this thing at a complete shutdown, and I'm going to press and hold the power button for a couple seconds. I just got a vibration from the device, and I let go of the power button. And now I'm going to show you how fast this thing powers up. So right now, my display has nothing on it. Now it does. Now it says starting Keysoft. And for those of you who have a Touch already, you'll know this little Ballerina Dot that goes spin, 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 spin. And forgive the artifacts, it's because I'm mixing this thing in. So you guys can hear it when it pops up. So it's just starting up, and I'm hearing those in my ears as well, so I apologize. Keysoft on.
Voice assist button.
We're on. So I'm at the lock screen. So now I can go.
Unlock button.
I just press the letter U. I'm going to press enter.
Device unlocked. Main menu. Contacts. Key list.
And this is Braille Note Touch Acapella Rod is the voice that we're using today.
Notification.
So see,
email. 561 new messages.
And now you get to see
561 new messages.
My mail come in, and I just stopped that by pressing backspace and enter. Now, some of you may remember that when I first got my first Braille Note Touch, when we were doing the original tutorial, I did not have a keyboard. So this is the first time I've been able to play with the keyboard, as I do have the keyboard case with this one. So you can utilize a keyboard with it. You can also take it out of the case or just take up this keyboard portion of the case. You can flip it up, lift it up. There's a little tab, as it were, on the left-hand side, and you can just plop that up and you can use Touch Braille. So if that's something you would prefer to do. For those that don't know, one of the things that really sets the Braille Note Touch apart, both generations, from its competitors is that you can actually type directly on the touch screen, and that's called Touch Braille. So you can use Braille directly from the full touch screen of the Touch, and it's 9.5 inches across or thereabouts.
I believe so.
9.75, somewhere in there. So it's about the size of your iPad or some of your larger tablets. You can turn Touch Braille off.
Touch Braille off.
And you can use swipe commands just like you would on your tablet. And you can swipe from one thing to another, to another, to another on the screen. You can double tap just like you would with an Android tablet. I'm going to turn Touch Braille back on.
Touch Braille on.
And I'm still sitting here in the menu. So let me show you this menu. Those of you who are already familiar with this will see some familiar things. We just saw contacts key list, and I'm just going to use my outer thumb keys, and I'm going to move right.
Email, Keymail.
So that should be familiar.
Internet, Chrome.
That might not. The original Touch used a modified version of Firefox, and I think I speak correctly when I say it was a modified version of Firefox. It was essentially under the hood anyway. Let me clarify and put it that way. So that was kind of what was being used as the engine that ran KeyWeb at the time. Well, now we're using Chrome, and that has tremendous, tremendous benefits to anyone who wants to navigate the web quickly, easily, and efficiently using your touch. And I will show you that in a minute. But let's continue through this menu.
Word processor. Keyword.
Keyword hasn't changed very much. Similar thing to your first gen touch. And if some of these aren't obvious, I'll try and explain them. But keyword, probably pretty self-explanatory, is the word processor of the touch.
Planner. Key plan.
This is your planner where you can set up appointments and things.
File manager. Key files.
There's where you will manage your files.
Calculator. Key calc. Easy Reader Plus.
Well, what is this? This is actually a product created by Dolphin, and this is Easy Reader, and this is designed specifically for the Braille Note Touch. So it's a version designed exclusively for the touch. This is not the Easy Reader that you will find in the Play Store. So this replaces the Victor Reader app. It's gone. What we have now is Easy Reader Plus, and I'm very excited to show you this because it is super cool. It essentially allows you to do the same stuff you could do with the Victor Reader app, and it also allows you access to a lot of different libraries. So I'll show you this in a moment. Let's continue.
Play Store.
There's Play Store. The ability to navigate the Play Store is vastly, vastly faster on this version of the touch. Remember, because this is based on Android Oreo, you can download any Android app that you've already got. Say you have another tablet or a phone or a Moto or something, and you want to download some of your apps to the touch, you can do that. Now remember, these are third-party apps. They aren't necessarily going to play perfectly nicely with the touch, but you're going to have that experience on any Android device that you are using TalkBack on for accessibility. So again, they're kind of moving targets. Some of them will play more nicely than others, but the ability to download them, find them, install them, learn about them is significantly faster on this generation of the touch.
KNFB Reader.
Here's KNFB Reader. We had this on the first generation after a period of time.
Braille Terminal.
This is Braille Terminal. So if you want to use your touch as a Braille display, that is available through Braille Terminal.
All applications.
And this is all applications. You can go in here to find out about all the applications that you currently have installed on your touch. And there are several installed by default, and I'll show you a little bit about that as well. Let's go back around here.
Contacts. Key list.
So I'm back at Contacts Key List, and of course you can use first letter navigation. So
Internet. Chrome.
I just press the letter I, and I'm going to press enter.
Chrome. Mystic Access. Selective tab. 70%.
Wow.
80%.
So we are now
Mystic
in
Access. Selective tab.
Mystic Access. And it says Mystic Access selected tab on my device. So I can just move my next thumb key.
Close Mystic Access tab.
I can close the Mystic Access tab.
New tab.
I can open a new tab.
Go back. Button. Go forward. Button. Refresh page. Button. Connection is secure. Site information. Button. Mystic Access. Web view.
So now I'm in the web view. And if you want to move in and out of the web view, you can do this with Enter and W.
No more web views.
So it tells me there are no more web views. This is the only one. If I were back here,
Connection is secure. Site
connection is
information.
secure,
Button. Mystic Access. Web view.
I can then press Enter with W to take me into the Mystic Access web view.
Skip to primary navigation. Link.
So I'm on the Mystic Access website, and I did this yesterday.
Skip to content. Link. Skip to footer. Link.
So essentially we can move through here, and I can just move my left and right thumb keys, or I can use my panning keys to pan through text. But there are other cool things I can do. Let me show you one of them.
Mystic Access. Heading 1.
How did you do that?
I pressed .1. So I pressed .1 on my keyboard, or you could have done that with Touch Braille as well. That took me down to my first heading level 1, and that's the first heading level on this page. So you have the ability to use standard navigation commands, such as H to move from heading to heading to heading, B to move from button to button to button. I think L will move you link to link to link. Let me see.
Mystic Access. Link.
Yes, it will.
Home. Link.
So I'm moving from link to link to link. If you want to move between edit fields, you can do that as well. You've got various key commands that you can use, just like if you were using a computer or a mobile device with a keyboard. You can do that on your Braille Note Touch as well. Now, if you want to find out what navigation levels are available, you can press space with T.
Alert, navigation, cancel, default,
So this is default.
headings and landmarks, links, controls, characters, words, lines, special content, cancel button.
So I can choose to select any of these, and then I can use a key command to move through at that particular navigational element, or I can just cancel out of here, and that's what I'm going to do.
Chrome, home, link.
So if I just want to move heading to heading to heading, I can press H.
Welcome. Heading 3.
That kills me how Rod does that.
He's excited. There must be an exclamation mark.
An exclamation mark, and he loses his mind.
Free downloads. Heading 3.
I just pressed H again, and that will move me to the next heading, which in this case is free downloads. So here's a weird command to remember. If you want to move back through headings, it is backspace, enter, and your H. So if it were buttons, you'd do the same thing. So let me just show you with a button. I'm going to move back to the previous button on the page, which should be, I think, our search button.
Search button.
Sure enough. And also remember, I'm using speech and Braille. If you're using Braille, you're going to see your result a little bit faster after you've created a command. So just something else to keep in mind. So let's say I want to subscribe to our newsletter.
Edit box. Email address.
So I pressed E, and that was able to take me down to my edit box for my email address. Now, if I don't know what this is, I can press my previous thumb key.
Email address.
And again.
Subscribe for product/site news and exclusive discounts.
Or I
Use
can
the
move to the
checkboxes
previous
to choose the lists of interest.
heading.
Stay up to date. Heading 3.
There's the heading associated with the ability to subscribe. So I can subscribe to things. I can visit places. Let me go back to the previous link.
Read more about events. Link.
So you can read more about events.
View by categories. Link. Newest products. Link. Best sellers. Link.
I'm just moving backwards through links.
All products on a single page. Link. Read more about free downloads. Link.
Let's do this.
Progress
I'm going to
bar.
press enter here.
20%. 44%. 65%. Free downloads. Web view. 80%.
So now I'm in the page, and my Braille display says free downloads web view. So if I want to move to that first heading on the page, I can press .1.
No next
Didn't
heading
work.
1.
Oh, no next heading 1. So let me try .2.
Thanks for your interest in our free audio downloads. Heading 2.
So here I am at free audio downloads. And I wonder why it wouldn't give me a
I
heading
wonder
1.
if it magically put you there.
I think it may have magically put me there. So let me go backwards by heading. And to do this, the same thing applies. So you'll do, if you want to go back to a heading level 1 on the page, you would do enter, backspace, and .1.
Free downloads. Heading 1.
Yep. So it magically put me here.
So let me
So-
explain something for a second
Yes.
regarding these heading level navigations that you're talking about. So I would assume, because you're saying .1, and in Braille, number 1 is A, I would assume that, okay, you press number 2 for heading level 2 and number 3 for heading level 3. That's not correct. What you would do in this situation is you press .2 for heading level 2, you press .3 for heading level 3, all through dots 4, 5, and 6. So if you want to go heading level 5, you would press .5, which is really kind
No
of a neat
next heading
concept.
5.
So except we don't have one, so I can't show you that.
Right. But it gave that message that says,
Now remember, what I'm running here is the current version of the Touch. I'm running the same software as you guys have, the release version. If I press that,
No next heading 5.
.5, I hear that in speech, but my Braille stays on free downloads heading 1. So that's just something to remember. Currently, as it stands now in this release version, if you see that in Braille and you press 5 thinking there's a heading level 5, you might not move anywhere, and they'll just tell you, oh, there isn't one. So if you're not using speech like I tend to do, and I don't use speech except when I'm doing presentations like this, or if I'm reading something, sometimes I'll read speech. But generally, if you don't use speech, that's just something to keep in mind. It won't tell you no heading level at 5 or whatever it says. So we've got this page. There are lots of different ways to read and interact with the page, but let me show you something else really cool. There is a context menu associated with Chrome and really associated with any app that you may happen to be in, and I'm going to enter that now, and we're going to share some important things about that in the class. So if you have a first gen touch or a first version touch, please join us to learn a little more about this.
Context menu. Open web page. Enter with O.
So your context menu, of course, gives you context-sensitive help based on which application you're in. So what that really means in English is if you want to know how to use the app, you can go into the context menu and learn more about how to do it. So this tells you I can open a web page with enter with O.
Forward. Enter with F. Back. Space with E. Reload. Enter with R. Bookmark add/remove. Enter with M.
So if I wanted to bookmark this page, I could.
Bookmarks. Enter with dots 2, 3, 5. History. Enter with dots 2, 3, 6.
So 236 is your history.
New tab. Backspace with N. Close tab. Enter with C. Find. Space with F. Find next. Space with N. Find previous. Space with P.
Very intuitive commands.
Change navigation level. Space with T. Next element. Space with dots 4, 6.
So if you were to want to navigate, you can use these commands.
Previous element. Space with dots 1, 3. Chrome menu. Space with W.
And I'll show you that in a second.
Bottom.
And that's what's available in here. There's another way to get help, though.
Chrome. Free downloads. Heading 1.
I have a back button on the device itself, and that's what I use to move me backwards to this free downloads. I want to show you the other way to get help.
Chrome help. Navigation by HTML element.
So this tells you about navigation by HTML element. And notice I'm not giving you all the commands I'm using. You have to come to class for more of this. But I'm just giving you some ideas of cool ways you can play in here. So you can get help.
To navigate backwards, add backspace with enter.
And it tells you right here what I just told you. So this is another help command that I used to show us this.
Button B.
And these are different levels of navigation that you can use. So you can navigate by button.
Control C.
And I said level, I actually meant element. So you can navigate by button, control.
ARIA landmark, de-editable field, E. Focusable item, F.
Focusable item.
Graphic, G. Heading, H.
And I won't show you all those, but there's various ways that you can navigate. So I'm going to back out.
Chrome. Free downloads, heading 1.
Let's say I want to look for a free download. I can go by link if I want.
7-zip for this purpose. Link.
Oh, ignore that link because that's talking about various downloads. So let's go by heading instead.
Are you enjoying and benefiting from the free downloads offered by Mystic Access? Your financial donations in any amount are gratefully accepted. Make a gift to Mystic Access. Heading 3.
So that's about donating for the hours of free content we have available here.
Free audio downloads. Heading 2.
And then here are the free audio downloads. I'm just moving with H.
We Are the Music Makers. Heading 3.
So let's say you wanted to learn more about We Are the Music Makers. You could go in here. That was our February free class. So if you want to learn more about our events and you don't know about them, you can check that out.
Active for iOS demo. Heading 3.
So there's active for iOS.
The Power of Your Voice. Heading 3.
And if I just move to the right,
The Power of Your Voice. Link.
you can go into it.
Chris, Kim, and Lisa will provide you with tips on how you may use your speaking.
And I just silence speech. You can see the descriptions of the downloads available. So there's a lot you can do here. I want to take you to another site, though, that you may be very familiar with.
Search or type web address edit box. https://www.mysticaccess.com/free-downloads/.
It tells you
Computer
the current
braille is
address.
required. Amazon.com, online shopping for electronics, apparel, computers, books, DVDs, and more. WebView, 100%.
And I'm already here. That's how fast the page loaded. It is crazy. So I could look something up. I could do a search.
Edit box, search.
I just pressed E to get me to search. So let's say I wanted to go into my account.
Search. Go button. Go.
I'm backing up.
All departments, pop all. Support artisans, link. Try Prime, link. Amazon, link. Open menu, button. Skip to main content.
I think I should have gone the other way. So let's hit H.
Cool Tech Gifts, heading 2.
And let me back up from here. I know my account's here somewhere. I could have done a find command as well.
Next page, link. Powerful Women, Powerful Stories on Prime Video, link. The ideal everyday boots. Link. Women inventing Alexa's skills. International
It's Women's
Day.
History Month.
Link. Buy 2, save $30 Pipe Echo Pipe limited time offer. Link.
So you can buy an Echo and save lots of money, apparently.
Unlimited access to 50 million songs. Link.
I'm going to do a find command because I'm not seeing my account here. So let's do a find command.
Find in page edit box. Computer Braille is required.
It tells me
Result
computer
1
braille
of
is
2.
required.
Hello, sign in account and lists. Link.
So if I want to sign in, I would need to sign in with my account. But I could click on this. Like
I'm
I
at
was going to sign in.
70%. 100%. Edit box. Email, phone for mobile accounts.
I'm actually going to do this just to show.
Edit box. Computer Braille is required.
So I'm going to enter my email address.
End of field.
Oh, and it's trying to talk to me as I do so. Okay. So ignore the obnoxious speech. And it has actually put me in my password field, it looks like.
Forgot your password? Link.
So I just backed up to see that for
Edit
sure.
box. Password. Edit box. Computer Braille is required.
So it tells me computer braille is required, so I'm actually in the password field, and I'm going to enter my password.
End of field.
So now I'm going to just go to the right. I could just press enter here, but I'm going to show you what's here.
Sign in. Button. Progress bar. 37%. Amazon.com. Online shopping for electronics, apparel, computers, books, DVDs and more. Web view. 100%.
So the last find command I did was for account. I'm going to press space within.
Find in page edit box. Account. Computer Braille is required.
And I'm going to press enter.
Hello, Kim account and lists. Link.
And here I am. I'm all signed in. I can go in here. I can see my accounts.
Not Kim. Sign out. Link.
Well, of course I am, so I'm not.
Orders. Link.
Let's say I wanted to reorder something. I could go in here and I could do so. That's just a little of the power of Chrome. We'll play more with that in class, but there's a couple other things I really want to show you as well about this really awesome new tool. So I'm going to go out of here and I'm going to press my home button.
Selection cleared. Beginning of field. Main menu. Contacts. Key list.
And it puts me back on contacts key list. Next, I want to show you how to download a voice. So let's say you don't like Rod for whatever reason. I'll show you how to replace him with another voice. You can have up to 4 voices on your device at any given time. I already have 4, so I'm going to have to replace Rod, but that's okay. So I'm going to show you how this works. I'm going to...
Options menu. Configure language profiles.
This is exactly where I want to go.
Select a language profile to configure. Primary language profile.
You can have multiple language profiles. This is the one I have currently, and I haven't even changed its name. So this is primary.
Configure language profile. Language profile name. Primary language profile.
I'm going to press my next thumb key.
Text-to-speech engine. Braille no touch acapella.
If you have other text-to-speech engines, apps for those engines on your touch, you can use one of them instead. If I had some of my Sarah Proc voices that I like on here, I could use one of those for my speech if I wanted to.
Voice. English. USA. Rod.
So here's Rod. Let's say I don't want to use Rod.
Voice. English. USA. Rod.
So Rod is currently selected.
English. USA. Karen.
Here are my other voices.
English. GBR. Peter.
Peter's a UK voice.
English. Ows. Tyler.
He's an Australian voice.
Manage voices.
So I could do manage voices. Let me just say I was on Peter.
English. GBR. Peter.
I could press M.
Manage voices.
That takes me straight to manage voices. So you can do some really cool shortcuts to get here.
Existing voices. Please select a voice to replace or add up to 3 additional a cappella voice.
I can replace a voice.
English. USA. Rod.
Let's replace Rod.
Select voice. Deep India. Additional 90 megabytes.
And it tells you how big they are. So I'm in English voices currently.
Top. Will. United States. Additional 40 megabytes.
Let's replace Rod with Will. And these are US voices because that's where I am currently. If I want to replace Rod, all I have to do is tap on Will, or if I'm not using touch braille, I can double tap. If I'm using touch braille or the keyboard, I can use enter or a cursor routing button or something like that.
Alert. Select voice. Replace the voice Rod by Will. Yes. No.
So I can press Y for yes.
Yes. Button.
Enter.
Key updater. Downloading voice.
So we're waiting. If I want to see the status,
59%.
I just press my next thumb key.
Installing voice.
It's already installing.
Installing voice. Installation succeeded.
And there's Will. So I've just changed my voice from Rod to Will.
Existing voices. Please select a voice to replace or add up to 3 voice. English, USA, Will.
So I just moved back a couple of screens to show you that Will is in fact our new voice. So let's go home from here.
Main menu. Contacts. Key list.
So that's Will, and he's another English US voice. The final thing I want to show you is Easy Reader, and I'm just going to give you a very, very whirlwind tour of Easy Reader. So I'm still in the main menu, and I'm going to press E.
Email. Key mail.
And again,
Easy Reader Plus.
Easy Reader Plus. We're just going to go in here. I'll show you how fast it loads.
Easy Reader Plus. Dream Days. Kenneth Graham. A pube.
A pube. That is EPUB. Will needs some help with some of these things. You only have to hear him for a minute, y'all. This is a book that is currently sitting here in my book list. So I'm going to go to the top of the app.
Top. Side menu. Button.
So we have what's called the side menu button.
My books.
Here's my books.
Import a book.
You can import a book. So yes, you should be able to listen to one of our tutorials on this thing with no issue whatsoever.
Sort.
So you can sort your books.
Search. Edit box.
You can search.
Dream Days. Kenneth Graham. A pube.
So here's my EPUB.
Book information.
There's book information.
Bottom.
Let's go into the side menu.
Side menu. Button. Menu. My books button.
So that'll take you back to my books.
Manage libraries button.
You can manage your libraries.
Bookshare button.
Bookshare.
Sell a library button.
These are the various libraries that are available.
EPA Books button. Project Gutenberg button. My newspapers button.
If you have NFB Newsline, you can sign up through my newspapers.
My clipboard texts button.
I've not played with this yet.
About and help button. My Dolphin account button. Bottom.
So that's what's in the side menu. So I'll just show you one more thing really quickly.
Bottom. Bookshare button.
So I just press B to get to Bookshare. And if we go in here.
Waiting for. Waiting for. Search side menu button.
So it's loaded now, and I can move to the right.
Bookshare. Log out. Search in all. Edit box.
So I could search for a book.
My reading lists. My history.
I can see my Bookshare history. That would be a very scary place to go. We're not going to do that.
Latest. Popular. Browse by category. Browse by grade. Bottom.
So that's just what's available in the Bookshare library. If you want to see other libraries that are available,
side menu. Dream Days.
You would go back to
My books. Side menu button.
The side menu.
Menu. My books button. Manage libraries button.
And you would go
Manage
in here
libraries.
To manage libraries.
Side menu button. Manage libraries. Bookshare. Switch on.
And I have that turned on.
Sell a library. Switch on. NCB overdrive.
Like this is NCBI overdrive.
That's in Ireland, I think.
Off.
Is it?
I think so.
That's cool.
NLB.
There's NLB, which I've never heard of.
Switch off. Nota. Switch off.
Those of you who are hearing this, some of you may be familiar with some of these. I'm really not.
Oliver Nidging.
This one looks perhaps Scandinavian or something.
Switch
I'm not really
off.
sure.
Pass and listen. Boken. Switch. Renib Bookshare.
Like right here, RNIB Bookshare. There's one I
off.
know more about. So you can turn these on and off. So if you don't want to see them, you don't have to. Now, I was just showing you this to show how you can customize. But you may be wondering, how do I play my NLS books? Well, to do that, you would need to go, and I'll just show you real quick where
Side
you go.
menu. Dream Days. Main menu.
So I just went to the main
Contacts.
menu.
Key list.
I'm going to go into all apps.
All applications. Main menu all apps. Bard Mobile.
There is a Bard mobile app for Android. You will go to the Play Store, you will find it, download it, install it, and log into it. And then it will show up here in your All Apps menu. And of course, if there are places you want to go in All Apps, you can just hit the letter associated with that app.
Maps. Radio Tunes. Nature is space. Relax, meditate, escape, sleep. 3D sound. The most effective audio therapy.
So you can get to apps of interest to you after you have, of course, downloaded and installed them.
One question I had before we leave the Braille Note Touch, and I have, is we talked about browsing the
Main
web
menu.
and shopping
Contacts. Key list.
and all kinds of productivity type of things. But my burning question for you is, can you watch TV on this?
Why, yes, you can. I have the YouTube TV app installed. I have utilized it. I also have DirecTV Now installed. I have not logged in yet, but I'm going to today, and I'll be able to share more about that in class. So anyone who wants to know. But yes, you can. And in fact, that's a good thing to ask because you do have.
Friday, March 8th.
Let me make sure.
10:59 a.m. Voice Assist button.
We'll talk about Voice Assist in class. Come to class just for that. It's cool.
Unlock button. Device
I'm going to go
unlocked.
back into,
Main menu. Contact.
and I'm shutting him up.
All applications.
I want to show you what's here.
Main menu all apps. Settings. Sonos. Unicode map. User guide. YouTube.
There it is. You can watch YouTube. It's pre-installed. You don't even have to go install it from the Play Store. It's already here. So yes, you can go in here and watch your YouTube videos. Really, the world is your oyster with this thing. It is tremendously fast. You also have onboard storage. So your storage is built in as opposed to having to use a large SD card with this. You can, but you have 64 gigs of storage on here, built-in storage. That gives you a lot more internal storage that you can play with as well.
So thanks for coming with us on this little demonstration of the Braille Note Touch Plus and some of its features and updates.
This is just the beginning. We're going to go way more in depth with a lot of things in class.
Thank you, everybody. Bye.
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 The preceding podcast is a presentation of Mystic Access, where the magic is in learning. If you are blind or visually impaired and desire to discover how our comprehensive products and services may support and empower your assistive technology journey, we welcome your visit at www.mysticaccess.com. Have a question or wish to place an order via phone? Call us at 716-543-3323. If you have something to share about this podcast episode, press 4 to reach our Mystic Access podcast comment line. Email us at info@mysticaccess.com. Connect with us on Twitter at twitter.com/mysticaccess and like us on Facebook at facebook.com/mysticaccessempower. Would you like to spread the word about our podcasts? Your friends and colleagues may listen and subscribe at www.mysticaccesspodcast.com. Our latest 5 episodes are also available via phone by calling 701-801-8527. If you enjoy our episodes, consider leaving us an iTunes rating and review. Your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks for spreading the word, and thanks for being a listener. We hope you enjoyed this episode.